We're here at eRetail Europe with Galyna Nitsetska from Silkarmour. Once lived in Holland, but now through Spain, now lives in London. Your approach to women's fashion is quite different. So how do you go about it?
I run Silkarmour, which is an online marketplace. We represent a number of designers, and they all specialize in women's workwear. So I think where we really differ from other platforms is instead of trying to have all the dresses you could possibly want available on one platform, we have a very niche target market, and we say, okay, if you're preparing for your first interview or you've just gotten a promotion, this is the platform you come to and choose the clothing from there.
So you have less choice, but a more specific type of clothing.
Absolutely, and I think one of the things we notice is actually customers get overwhelmed by the amount of choice they have on a lot of platforms, and they want to know exactly what they need to wear for specific occasions, and that's what we do very well.
Because usually men are sort of fond of platforms that everything is selected for them, but I hear that women normally want to browse and shop, etc. How is it going?
Well, first of all, it's going very well. I think women do like browsing, but I think it depends on what you're browsing for in the occasion. And I think the workplace is one of those things where the stakes are quite high. If you're going to a party or a lunch event with your friends, that's where you can let your creativity flow. If you're actually trying to become the CEO of a company, then it becomes a lot more important of how you represent yourself. And I think men have been in the workplace for so long, so they know exactly what's expected from them. You have a suit, you have a tie, you have these kind of shoes, and that's how you walk in. And for women, we don't really have those guidelines. So a lot of women actually really appreciate the guidance that we give them in terms of how to dress for which industry and for which occasion.
And is it more tailored, the clothes you sell, or is it like more like pret-à-porter, like the clothes in standard measures, etc.?
So we sell a lot of ready-to-wear, essentially, pret-à-porter, but we also connect a lot of our customers with tailors in London. So we have tailors who are trained on Savile Row, some of the best, and for the women who want to have things tailored specifically to them, we bring them into connection with those.
Okay. Now you run another business as well. I don't know if it's the same thing, but you run subscription-based lingerie service also for women. So subscription-based is something we know from food now and from razor blades. How many lingerie do you need? Is that something you can actually subscribe to?
Well, we've only been running for 6 months, but the moment we launched, it went extremely well. I think this business is actually quite well known in the US. In terms of lingerie, I think this is just a little gift that you give yourself. It's more of an emotional buy. No, you probably don't need a lot of lingerie, but at the same time, I think women really like having those little nice things that arrive every single month. You don't have to go to the shop and shop around all the time. It's just a lovely surprise to get at your doorstep.
So how does it work? What's the frequency you get the goods?
So customers can pause their subscription anytime. We also have very easy cancellations. Most people stay subscribed, well, at the moment up to 6 months, but some people also subscribe for 12 months and they can buy that in advance, that subscription. But yeah, they can pause anytime.
And how often do you get a package?
Of course. So women get packages once a month. And every month it's a surprise package. Obviously, they can also email us and say, hey, I've seen this on your social media. These are the things and styles I really like. Would it be okay to have more of these type of things in my package? And we pitch that along to our stylists and they take that into account.
And how you deal with returns?
Very easy return system. So at the moment we only have free returns in the UK, which we're going to try and roll that out to the rest of the world. But obviously shipping is quite expensive at the moment. But return rates are actually a lot lower than the rest of the fashion industry, which has been very surprising.
Do you refund when they because it's still a subscription? So if they return everything, is then they're off the hook? They don't have to pay, or do they have to choose something else?
So very often the people who do say, actually this style isn't for me, we always offer to refund. I think the most important thing, especially today in the online world, is to keep customers happy. And as a company, it costs a lot less to keep a customer happy than to have a bad review out there, for example. One of the things that we usually do is if, for example, the size wasn't correct and they say, I actually really like this, or can I have a slightly different style, we allow them to keep the first package that we send. We send them 2 sets in their next month's shipment, and that's something that customers have really loved because they don't have to go to the post office to return the item, and it becomes a very easy relationship.
So what you see with now most food subscription service, they offer some kind of customization. So a week in advance you can say, I like this but I don't like that. Do you offer one package for everyone, or do you let them customize their offer?
So customers can give us comments, and we always take that into account, and that goes into our CRM. But we have different packages available. We have 3 different subscription models available. So one is just underwear, for example. The second one is a full set, and the third one has little gifts and toys, and that's more for the couples.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.